Hi, welcome to Tutorials Point. Let's explore the world of self-confidence today. Let's move on to understand what is self-confidence. Have you ever been in a situation where you have self-doubt on yourself and you did look up to certain amount of confidence in others and you felt that you lacked that confidence in yourself? The other words to define self-confidence is morale, self-reliance, self-assurance, positiveness, assertiveness, composure, and to do with a belief that you can achieve. So in a nutshell, if I have to define self-confidence, it is surety about going and achieving a task and being sure that you can succeed in anything that you can pick it up. So let's move on to understand what this course view has for us and how are we going to relate to certain topics in our real life and incorporate the learning forward. So moving on, self-esteem overview, where we're going to little talk on self-esteem as well, and we'll have a working definition for self-confidence. Self-confidence versus self-esteem, because it's very important that they are two different terms but widely interchanged. So we need to have the difference in terms of going ahead and incorporating what is self-esteem and what is believing in the word self-confidence. Dynamics of self-confidence, traits of self-confident people, traits of underconfident people. I mean, more or less we do undergo a phase where we question and we have a self-doubt. So let's explore if we fall in this category of underconfident people or you're not there. Effects of low self-confidence, and there's a small do-it-yourself activity where you can explore more about the world of self-confidence. Improving yourself, criticizing your inner voice, handling criticism, most important aspect to live and succeed in today's world. That is, how do I handle and take care of my critics and how do I take criticism constructively. Moving forward, cultivating compassion, have an attitude towards gratitude. I mean, that's the logo of life. Moving further, pitfalls, why it is not so relevant to chase perfection. Responding to criticism positively, something similar of taking constructive feedback and working towards it, taking compliments and what's your unique selling point. Moving further, defining resilience, being resilient, maintaining flexibility, maintaining optimism as well, cultivating a winning behavior attitude, how to be there in terms of to have that winning behavior attitude, creating relationships. Most important, how do we conclude this topic and take the learning forward. So let's go to the next slide to understand this further better. Self-confidence, in other words, like we already have explored the working words and definition associated, self-reliance and self-assurance. How sure I am about myself and how sure I am about sure about my success and how would I achieve certain tasks. So it's all about having that belief, working towards that belief and having that positive attitude and optimism that I can do it no matter the world says no. So this picture widely depicts on similar lines that you still have that smile and you still have that go winning attitude and moving on. So to have a working definition, we'll move further to define self-confidence. So self-confidence is a process by itself. So if I have to really talk in terms of to have a working definition, it is all about let go of your negative beliefs, to let go of your negative core beliefs, to let go of negative people, to let go of negative environment, to let go of your underlying belief that you can't achieve, to let go of underlying fact that you are a victim every time, to let go of negative people from your life. Most important, to let go of the attitude that you can never achieve a task. So just have this working definition in your mind each time you're stepping into a task, each time you're asked to do or perform a task. Just have these thoughts in your mind and go ahead and action the belief factor that you can achieve and you're very optimistic about it. Moving further, self-confidence versus self-esteem. Now this is very important and critical that I understand these two words are quite different by themselves and they have different meaning attached to it and they cannot be interchanged. For example, the word self-esteem, well, the word esteem means to estimate yourself, that is how you value and regard yourself in relation to your environment and to the world. While self-confidence has to do purely on your assessment about your own belief, your own success. How do you rate your success, and how do you define yourself? So these two have a different meaning and they cannot be interchanged. Let's move to the next slide. Dynamics of self-confidence people. So how do we relate to this picture, and what are we talking about in terms of self-confidence with dynamics here? So well, the personality triads, the qualities that I carry as a confident person, I not only impact my own living, but I also convey a message very strongly that I'm positive, and the very fact of living positive can help you achieve success, can help you achieve relationships, can help you achieve social life, in a better work, a better work-life balance too. Moving further, triads of self-confident people. This picture clearly depicts on lines of what the triads are, that is, what are the personality and behavior qualities of a confident person. Let's explore more about this. So think about a person whom you have always admired. It could be anybody in your family, it could be anyone, a distant cousin, or it could be a public figure. Just analyze the fact, what are the common things in these people that I've mentioned, and what is that you would like to imbibe in yourself. One thing which comes out very evident and which stands out is they are successful, obviously, and hence we all admire. They are loved by others. They do believe in modesty, humility, and they are okay about feedback. So these are the common things that we can take back and incorporate in our own lives, and succeed and be more confident. Next slide for us is triads of underconfident people. Now that we've spoken so much about self-confidence, and let's move on to to the opposite of what self-confidence is, which is your underconfident. So how do I define it? So let's have a working definition of the word underconfident. Anything that I have not achieved, or anything I believe I cannot achieve, and this doesn't allow me to perform a task, it doesn't allow me to go ahead and be there with the task. So we all have been in this particular phase of life. So I would really like to add a phrase here, that we all go through stages in life, that is confidence, underconfidence, lack of confidence, a self-doubt. All these are phases and stages where you have to just counter-attack it and work towards being there. That is to be successful and to win not just your own task, but to win the attitude by the others, to win the task that you are performing at. Moving further, effects of low self-confidence people. Let's talk on this question. Will you ever like to be with people who are negative, not just in their own beliefs and thoughts, but they're also negative about the environment? Well, I can tell you the answer, which includes my answer as well. With it's no. So we never would like to be with set of people who are not just being there in terms of being qualifying themselves as a confident person. They are also unhappy about a lot of situations under in the environment. To talk in lines about one factual information, confidence has to do much with your upbringing, the way you have been brought up, the way your parent had a style in terms of interacting and conversing with you, your working relationship with your colleagues, with your officials, with the bosses, and also with the environment. These three factors adds a lot of information to a confident person and what makes you today. Let's explore next slide, self-confidence do-it-yourself activity. Well, this is a particular, it's your self-activity where you have to just involve yourself. The video tutorial that we are today, emphasizing on, which is, the self-confidence topic, is more to do with a prerequisite, that is, you need to be calm, you need to be open in terms of discussion when you're doing this activity, and you just have to be yourself. So have certain, information recall in your mind, where certain tasks that you completed, you're not happy today. In fact, that block in your mind is not allowing you to sort of go ahead and perform and go ahead and take up certain tasks in life. Just sit calmly, recall those tasks and jot it down and see how differently you can do it, and why were you not able to do it the last time. So these two things, why were you not able to do last time in a manner that you think today you could have done it, just analyze, compare it, draw the differences, and take these differences as your self reflection, and have an insightful self talk with yourself, and move ahead in life, and you can see a different you and a successful person you. Moving further, improving your self confidence, well, there are certain techniques, there's a lot of measures, a lot of tools as well. And again, each time I believe in somebody's thoughts, I read a book, I probably get a workshop, invested in myself. That is, I go, I attend a workshop, I attend a training. These things are just the highlights and just the exposure towards the very trait of being self confident. It all lies in you. So why shouldn't I believe that I can achieve? Why should I believe that I can master the act of performing and achieving the success? So let's have one philosophical thought. Well, that could be more philosophical, and hence it cannot be related much on a very natural scale. But have a belief that you made it to certain phase of your life, to whatever age group that you're in, to whatever situation you are in today. You have passed through certain difficult situations of your life, and what makes you and what defines you is nothing but that should actually help you rebuild your self confidence within yourself. Moving further, criticism of your inner voice. We all have our inner talks, we all have our inner voice, which can allow us to have that self doubt, which can just pushes us to go ahead and perform a certain task and see how a task is achieved at. So believe in these inner voices. Do have a self talk if you have a negative inner voice as to why it is asking you not to go ahead and take up the task, not to go ahead and achieve that task. So it's all about questioning yourself and having that 10 minutes of self talk each day before you actually begin your day. Meditation can be one amongst those experiences where you can have your inner voices, where you can curb your negative inner voices, and where you can take your positive inner voices and move ahead and succeed, and just have that right performances and right relationship achievement and everything that you have achieved by large. Next slide, handling criticism of your inner voice. That how do I handle criticism, that is negative self talk or negative belief about yourself? Well, we all have it in common. Now that every successful person who has achieved it by far have never had a self talk which is negative, but handling it is the most important key. And how do I handle it? Well, let it go, speak it out to your own self. And if you're comfortable speaking out in front of others, whomever you have that confidence with, that this person would help you, by in case you have a lot of negativity around you, if this person has always helped you, and this person can help you in the future as well. So just let it go, speak it out, talk it out, I would say, and take it to the next level in terms of analyzing it, that you have spoken it out, and this will not hamper you any further. Moving on, cultivating passion. Well, passion can take and change everything in due course. So how do I have that passion? So passion is nothing but you believe in something, you like something, and that comes in naturally to you, and you have that natural aptitude towards that thing. So ability, passion, and attitude towards a gratitude as well. So moving on, self confidence has to do with the passion that I can believe. You have that passion about your own self, about your own self development. Be it a student or be it someone at a university or a working professional. What are common things in these three people that I've quoted an example? Well, success. So how do I believe that I can succeed if I'm a student? The passion to go ahead and achieve what you think of, the passion to sort of score something high in a university or an examination, the passion to perform at a certain task and get recognized. So have that inner goals, and believe in those inner goals, and you can take it ahead in life. Moving further, pitfalls of chasing perfection. We have spoken passion, we have spoken task, we have spoken success, we have spoken about how do I counterattack my inner negative talk. Now this is critically important to understand that why I should not chase perfection. So how do we define perfection? I would like you all to jot down in a book, how do you define perfection, and let's compare it with the dictionary definition of perfection. Perfection is a very subjective word. A perfectionist could be perfectionist with certain metrics which have been defined and designated, but if I analyze it, the person might not be closest to my perfection definition. So it's all in your mind. You know, it's all in your mind. How do you take it, and how do you believe towards moving and taking ahead in terms of a task that has been assigned to you, a task that you have to redo it because you're not happy last time. So it's all about, you know, having that perfection and believing in yourself. The most important thing again in this slide that I like you to really reflect upon is how do you believe that you will take this task and move ahead in life. So something next, responding to criticism positively. So not everybody would get a fair chance to, you know, get the feedback and also get compliment and also get criticism attached with it. So in this competitive world, you know, the eyes is on performance, and you have to all let it go in terms of having that winning attitude, moving forward and achieving the task with the belief factor. So moving further, you know, while we do discuss about certain triads of, you know, not just about handling criticism, handling feedback and handling compliments as well. So let's understand, you know, why do I have to understand the word compliment in a nutshell, and why do I have to accept compliment? Not everybody would get a fair chance to get compliments, so we would advise you each time you get a compliment, accept it with open arms. If you don't get a compliment, often pay it yourself one. This is a famous quote by Mark Twain, and relating compliment with criticism. So I remember reading this famous one-liner by a known actor here in India. So he clearly stated the fact that, you know, each time you're being criticized, think that you have an opportunity to improve, and think that, you know, you are rich and famous. So not everybody would get this due chance of, you know, accepting the feedback and getting the feedback as well. Moving on, your USP, that is what is your unique selling point. So what defines you as a person, what defines success? So how do you define success, and how do you define your own goals? So this is something more like a self-reflection activity. Like I would really suggest you to sort of close your eyes, rethink on the fact that, you know, how do you want to take a lead in your life in terms of your definition of success, in terms of, you know, how you're defining the word goal as such. Moving further, defining resilience. Now this is one of my favorite words to go by, because since the time I have known its definition, I truly believe that, you know, every human being should relate to this, and we all have to strive being there. So resilience is more on lines towards success and what makes a person successful. That is, each time I have a failure, each time I fail at a task, yet I have the attitude to go back and redo the task or take up the feedback, work towards it constructively, and still believe that, you know, I can achieve it even though I fail it at 100 times. So let's recall the, you know, famous incident and famous example of Thomas Alva Edison. 13,000 times failure at a task, and yet he achieves something that you and me you know, are believing, and you and me are using it day in day out. So that's a famous classic example when it comes to the word resilience, and yes, this is my favorite word. Moving on, being resilient, well, this is one of the quality that, you know, it just not help you as an individual, as a professional, it will also help your environment too. So each time I imbibe certain qualities, I am somewhere, you know, being admired, I'm somewhere being adored, and I'm somewhere being followed by the people. So let's set ourselves with an example as a human being, as a person who has the fighting attitude and who has the belief that, you know, yes, they can go ahead and achieve. Well, to classically define this very word, you know, with cancer patients, you know, cancer as a disease has to do more with the willpower. So each time you have a therapy, each time you undergo the medication process, you just have, you know, be positive, be optimistic. I mean, in fact, you can just share these, you know, tips or, you know, just like qualities, you know, what we are talking and discussing today, to anybody who's actually undergoing that as an experience. So cancer as a, you know, as a disease is all about willpower. You believe that yes, you can forego, you believe that you can undergo any sort of, you know, chemical treatment, and yet you can come out in a performance scale of just successfully coming out of the disease. Is all about, you know, being resilient here. Moving further, maintaining flexibility. Now this is one of the words that, you know, we all have to balance it out in our life. Flexibility, why is it important? So I cannot be rigid in my own views, my values and my beliefs, Two things to remember here: belief can be questioned and changed, but faith cannot. So have a flexibility for these two words and have those core beliefs intact, and yes, have the flexibility. Moving on, maintaining optimism. Well, this is something, a picture that clearly depicts, and I personally like it, for very reason. It just not conveys us the smile, but everything bright about this picture. So we all have bright side of our life. Just let's only focus on the bright side and not think much on negativity, and let go the negativity off from our life. Next slide, cultivating a winning behavior attitude. Well, winning behavior attitude can only be achieved when I'm optimistic, when I'm confident, when I have self-esteem, when I handle criticism, when I have my inner voice which is positive, and I let go of negative thoughts, I let go of negative people, I let go of negative core beliefs, and I come to this stage of my life. And you can take this as a factual information, that I believe in the things that I suggested on. I can certainly achieve this as a behavior, and behavior can be translated into action and thoughts. So each time you behave at something and you believe that yes, you have the desire to move ahead and achieve it, you can and you will. Moving further, exercising winning behavior. Not just having a winning behavior can get you something in life, but how do I retain and sustain it? So each time I work on a habit, each time I cultivate a passion and a habit amongst me and amongst my friends or my family members, what is most important and the underlying fact is, how do I sustain and work towards it? So for working, I have to go to I have to go through certain hardships, certain hard work that is important, and where you can make it big. So believe that you can do it, have the winning attitude, and exercise your winning behavior that can lead to creating further relationships. When we say relationship, not just creating relationship can help you further to succeed or bring success. It is about how I utilize these social contacts, how do I project and present myself, and how do I showcase my abilities to the world, that I am confident, I can convey confidence, and I believe in confidence can help me achieve everything in life, be it in a social gathering, be it in a professional world, be it at a university, as a student, as someone who's just getting started in the professional world too. Moving on, conclusion. So how do I conclude this particular video tutorial with the topic self-confidence? Just two words to go by, and I take away these two words as well: trust yourself. Nothing more can get you in life but trusting yourself, and moving on with the belief that yes, you can and you will. Thank you for watching, and do share your comments and feedback for further enhancing this entire experience. And what is a piece of information that you liked it, and you really want to sort of go back and imbibe it in your own life, or probably pass it on to somebody else? Do share it in the comment box. Thank you for watching.